Hello, my name is Austin. Welcome to Gamingverse, and today I thought I would show you guys my collection of my PlayStation 2 games and such. Um, just a bit of background, the PS2 launched March 14th, 2000, so that makes it 20 years old. Pretty old. This isn't my original. I had an original one when I was younger, and it broke. The disc tray broke, so we had to get this one a few years later. But I thought I would show my games, all of my games that I have, and some of my favorites also. So to start off, I'm going to start with fighting games, and that is Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Deadly Alliance, and Deception. These are very good games. I know that the Xbox and the GameCube had some of these too. Mainly the GameCube I know had this. But no, these are very good fighting games. I personally prefer Armageddon because this one has a special exception that's very exclusive to this game. You can make your own fighters, and the story just is a lot better than most stories that come out from Mortal Kombat nowadays. So this one was actually very creative, and so was Deception when it came to the story mode, such as Conquest. Moving on. We have SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs. This is actually a very good game I would recommend getting if you're into kind of like a tactics strategy kind of game, because this is a very good game if you are a strategic kind of player. You got to use stealth tactics. You play in a team with other people on your group. There is online, but servers are down, but this is a very great game. I would actually recommend getting this. It's really only around $2 online, so it's actually relatively cheap for you to get. Fair warning, I did forget to mention that some of these I do not have cases, so I'm gonna move on to those ones. Now I have TNA Impact, which I know came out on the 360 and the PS3, but I decided that I would get the PS2 port because it's the PS2. So it's very, very good. The controls are funky when you start, but after a while of playing, you do get the hang of it, and it's a pretty fun game. It's kind of like playing an arcade game to me, at least a little bit, like an old arcade wrestling game. But moving on, we have Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Now, if you're looking for a racing game on the PS2, I would highly recommend getting any of the Gran Turismos. But for me personally, it's got to be Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. I do have the blue disc, but I do also have the red disc. Hold on, let me see. I have it. Yep, right here. I have the red disc also. I thought I would get both because I thought it was pretty cool. So if you are thinking of racing games, Gran Turismo is the way to go. I really wouldn't go with like Ridge Racer or anything else. Just Gran Turismo has a better feel with the controls and everything else. Next, I want to move on to one of my favorite first-person shooters for the PlayStation 2. It's Killzone. Killzone, I feel, is pretty unique to itself for being an FPS game. It has a very new feel to it. Like, yeah, the controls are clunky, the cameras and the graphics aren't that great, but something about this game, just the way it plays and the story behind it is just very intriguing, and it gets you hooked. It gets you very hooked into the game. The game is relatively cheap. You can find it on sites on eBay or LukiGames.com, which I would highly recommend you use if you're trying to shop online, because they have very good prices. I only actually got this game for $10. My second favorite FPS shooter on the PlayStation 2 has got to be Project Snowblind. This game is great. I actually like this a lot better than Killzone. This game, you have biotics in you. You're basically a cyborg. You got special powers, and you're in Hong Kong, and you're fighting off against the coalition against a terrorist movement and such like that, and it's just such a good game. I would highly recommend getting this. This game is actually around the $20 mark, so it's pretty relatively cheap if you were to pick this up. So I would recommend getting this. This one isn't really much of a favorite, but I got it because I tried it when I was younger. It's Red Faction, the first one. This game isn't bad. I mean, it's not as bad as the second one. Ugh. But this one's pretty good. When I play multiplayer with some of my friends, I always kind of think of it as like Quake because it's a fast multiplayer. But when you play the story mode, it is such a long game, but like it is so worth it. The story is just so detailed. Your name is Parker. I can't remember his first name exactly. But you're a miner and you revolt against Ultor and stuff like that, and it's a great game. You lead a rebellion. It's a good game. Just not the best. I wouldn't really recommend it if you're getting into FPS games, but it would be a good start. But if you really want to get into FPS games, you would have to get Quake. Either Quake is fine. I personally just got Quake 3 Revolution because, well, it's Quake. I love Quake. I'm a big fan on the Doom series. So I thought, since I love Quake so much, I thought I would try to get it for the PS2. Now, for some reason, mine has a blue bottom disc, as you can see. But other than that, this game runs perfectly. This game is so good. Like, this is a perfect arena type multiplayer game. It's like Quake 3 Arena, but with a few fixes in between some of the things. Moving on to kind of like GTA kind of games. There is Grand Theft Auto 3, which is very good for it being the first 3D Grand Theft Auto. I still play this. I still recommend it. Very great game. It's actually relatively cheap. You can actually get this for like $3 anywhere. Then during this time there were so many clones of the GTA series, so I decided why not and just pick one up, like one that's like in London or something. Like, it didn't bother me. So I got The Getaway. I haven't really gotten that far into this game yet, but I can say that it's unique in its own way. You're looking for your son after your wife was murdered by rival gang members, I believe, for ransom and money. Like I said, I haven't gotten that far into the story, but so far it's been a very good game. The controls suck, but it's a pretty solid game. I want to get the second one, but I want to beat this one first. I know that the second one's a little higher up on the price point though. Moving on, we have NFL Street. This is my favorite NFL game of all time. It's just I don't know what's so great about it. It gives you a different feel, like you're actually playing a real sports game. Like, you hook it up with your friends, and it's just a very good time with your friends that you're hanging out with, or sitting on the couch or something, or in your room. Very fun game. I heavily enjoy it. A racing game I really wouldn't recommend, but is an arcade racing game. It's by Atari. It's called Test Drive. I don't have the cover art for it, but I do have the instruction manual. So, Test Drive. It's okay. It's made by Atari. I love Atari, but this game just didn't go that well. The controls are not great. That's why I said I would recommend anybody getting racing games to go with Gran Turismo 3 and not this. This is okay if you're like an arcade racer, but this isn't gonna suffice if you want like a full-blown racing game. Like, this only gives you a couple of tracks, while Gran Turismo has like its own big story and just has so many good tracks and cars. But moving on, for another racing game, this one I would actually recommend also. ATV OffRoad Fury. Now, I did play this when I was younger. This game is fun. You're an ATV, a four-wheeler, and you're off-road driving. It's kind of like Jeremy McGrath's Motocross 2000, which is a very good game too. But I would get this if you are like young, trying to like, I don't know, just trying to like get an easy racing game. This is pretty good too. Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's great. This is perhaps not one of my favorites, but it kind of comes in close. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Now, I prefer number 4 over all of them. Now, I do know that they did remake 1 and 2, which I really want to get. But this isn't bad. It's just, it's not my favorite. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not great either. Like, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, if that's the one you want to get. That is a perfect skateboarding game for the PS2, the GameCube, the Xbox. Just Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is great. It's just not the most logical way to go sometimes, in my opinion. Now there's the Smackdown vs. Raw series. I played a lot as a kid. So it'll probably come to no surprise that this one is actually most likely everyone's favorite, and I'm actually in the same boat as most of those people because it's in a hate it or a love it category, and I love it. The season mode is great, general manager mode is great, just everything about this game is amazing. You can unlock legends using money in the game that you earn, you can edit your character with XP, and you choose Smackdown or Raw, whichever side. It gives you 2 storylines to complete, and I just replay it over and over, and you can do it with several other characters, and it'll come out with different consequences and such things like that. But if you are looking for like a wrestling game, like I said, I would go with this over TNA Impact. So this is a much better game. Next, I don't really think most people would agree with me when I say this game I kind of think is a little better than GTA 3. True Crime Streets of LA. Now, I played this as a kid more than I played GTA, so I have a much bigger, deeper connection to this. But basically, the premise of this game is you are a detective, undercover, not really undercover, but you are a police officer and such like that. And there's good endings, there's bad endings. There's like 4 or 5 endings in this game. I haven't actually gotten all of them yet. I've only gotten 2. The game is hard, but when you play it, you will have a lot of fun. There's patrol missions you can go on. There's just so much you can do in the game, and you are in Hollywood, and the map is huge. So there's a lot of space to drive around. There's cars you can pick from. This is good. This is a very, very good game. I love this game very much. I would like to say that GTA Vice City is great, but it's also got a little few things with it. Everyone will say San Andreas is better. I mean, I think this is a lot better, but GTA 3 is my favorite. It's got a bigger map. Yeah, this has more stuff to do, but when it comes to GTA 3's story, for me, it just pulls me in just a lot more than this one did. This one just, I think it's great nonetheless, but the story is not as intriguing as GTA 3 or San Andreas is. There's just, like I said, the map isn't big like you expect it to be in a Grand Theft Auto game, but this game is still great. It's set in the 80s, but I love this game, but it's not my favorite. It would be in top 5, but not my favorite. Now, onto my 2 favorite games of all time for the PlayStation 2. I would actually recommend getting the PlayStation 2 just for this game. And that game is Twisted Metal Black. I remember playing Twisted Metal head-on as a kid, and I had the extra Twisted edition, and they gave me a little Twisted Metal Black promo thing for like the next game or whatever. But that didn't come true, as they made the last Twisted Metal game for the PS3 around 2012. So this would be my ultimate favorite, but it's got to be Head On. But this one is just, it's got a more darker tone. Head On is a remake of the second game. This one is just so much better. It actually, this one is my favorite. It's got a horror feel. It's so great. Like, the story, there's so many characters you can unlock. Like, every character has its own ending for every character and such like that. Great game, and that's why I said greatest hits on it. Best game I could have ever asked for as a kid. But I thought I would go with a different approach for my favorite game on the topic of the PS2 and when it comes to certain games. Now, I know a lot of people aren't really into a lot of the flight simulator games, like when it comes to Ace Combat, like 7 or 6, but personally, I love those games to death. And recently, I just got Ace Combat Zero, the Belkin War, and I have been playing this game nonstop for the past couple months. And this game's story is great. There's so many fighter jets that you can choose from. You can choose from attacker, a fighter, a jammer. There's just so many that you can choose from, and special weapons. But if you're looking for an Ace Combat game, it would be Ace Combat Zero, the Belkin Wars. This one is great. The ending, I have gotten to it, but the last guy I cannot beat. I have been trying for weeks, and he's, I am determined to beat this game, and I will beat it soon. Someday, I hope. But yeah, that is all of my, that is my PlayStation 2 collection of games. If you have, like, your favorite games for the PS2, leave a comment. Just leave what your favorite game is. I would like to mention that, like I said before, in my retrospective, there are PS1 games that will work on your PS2, but in order to do that, you will need a PS1 memory card. So please tell me what your favorite game is for the PlayStation 2, and we can talk about that. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, please let me know, and I will do that. I will do videos on the 360, the Xbox One, PS4, you name it, and I will do it. Thank you. And like, subscribe, and have a good day.